Are you looking for your next cash flowing business to start? Well, my name is Johnny Robinson and I've spent the last 7 years of my life in the home service space, building home service businesses. I built a window cleaning business up to about $1.3 million in sales. I then built a house cleaning business for my mom that now generates $30,000 a month. And I've now replicated that same process to over 1,500 people across the US and Canada, resulting in over $20 million generated through those cleaning businesses in just 2023 alone. And today I'm gonna reveal 7 low competition home service business ideas that you can start today and begin making money very, very quickly. And I'm talking about niche opportunities that most people are gonna overlook that you probably haven't heard of. Yet they're still making entrepreneurs, like myself, shitloads of money. And I would bet that you've never heard of the last one, like genuinely never ever heard of the last one. Number 1, mobile window screen repair. Now, most houses, 99% of houses in every major market are gonna have screens on their windows. And the thing about these screens is they get damaged, they get bent, the mesh breaks, whatever it is, and they're really important because they keep the bugs out, allows you to open your windows so that you can let some cool air in and also not have to worry about bugs flying in and debris flying in, stuff like that. Now, I don't see this talked about enough because there's not a lot of competition for this, but there's very high demand. And I know there's high demand because we used to offer this as an add-on service in the window cleaning business for a long time, but we ended up not doing it because it ended up being more complex than we thought when we got up there to start fixing frames and doing more complicated stuff other than just replacing the screen mesh. But if you made it your full focus and you got the equipment necessary to actually repair these screens, you can charge upwards of $30 to $40 a screen. As an example, there's a company in Orange County called Mobile Screen Repair. That's the name of the business. They do about $5 million a year. And I know they're ripping it because they've got 10 employees in the back just working on screens all day, every single day. And on top of that, the owner had a big lifted TRX out front. So the business is probably doing a ton in cash flow. I know they're doing a lot in revenue. They literally sell window screen repair kits at Home Depot that you can go buy and you can start repairing screens tomorrow and charge anywhere from $15, $20, all the way up to $40 per screen. And then as you grow and as you scale, you can start to custom build the screens for new homes. You can land big contracts with home builders to build the screens for them. There's lots of different things you can do like that. And that mobile screen repair business is just one. There's tons out there across the US that are crushing it. And there's not a lot of competition. I don't see a lot of people talking about screen repair. Now the pros of this business are low startup cost, low barrier to entry. You've got low cost of goods sold. The materials that go into fixing screens is next to nothing. So you have really high profit margins. However, the cons are it is a bit labor intensive. You will have to get the hang of fixing screens, which can be annoying at times. Eventually you will need to buy a trailer and stuff when you start to get to bigger houses and you're doing 30 screens at a time. You will have to invest into more equipment, but that comes with any business. Number 2 is gutter cleaning. So gutter cleaning was another add-on service that we did at the window cleaning business that we actually kept, but there's huge gutter cleaning businesses out there. Ned Stevens being one of them. They sold to private equity for tens of millions of dollars. They're in a ton of different states, and that's their primary service is gutter cleaning. So what is gutter cleaning? There's gutters on most homes. There's lots of debris and leaves that get built up in there, and it's what allows the rain to fall off the roof into the gutters and down into the sewer. However, if that starts to get clogged up, you can cause foundational damage to your home, which you don't want. And so a service that a lot of homeowners will pay for is gutter cleaning. Benefit to gutter cleaning is that it requires no licenses to start. It requires very, very low startup costs. You need a ladder, a pair of gloves to put on your hands, and that's it. That's all you need, because you can literally just go up there and pick this stuff up out of the gutter, and you run some water through the gutter and you drain it out, and bada bing, bada boom, it's clean. There's very little quality control to do too, because homeowners aren't gonna get up on the ladder and double check your work. A before and after picture will suffice. And you can charge up to $3, $4 a foot. That's what we used to charge. And for bigger homes, I mean, there would be gutter jobs we would do that were $500, $600 alone. So you can get really, really high ticket. Pros to this are that, again, really low startup cost, no licenses required to actually go out and sell gutter cleaning services. However, you will need ladders, meaning there is a risk of getting on roofs and falling off a roof. So you want to be careful when you start to hire employees in this business. Your worker comp rates will be a lot higher than most industries because you're going to have people getting on ladders and doing work on top of roofs. So you want to make sure that you really be careful and you take the proper safety precautions if you're going to get into this business. Number 3, we've got dryer vent cleaning. Now, what is dryer vent cleaning? It is what it sounds like. It's going and cleaning those dryer vents behind your dryer. Why? Because they can get clogged up, they can get filled with lint, and if they're not taken care of, it can cause a fire hazard and be really risky. Benefit to this business is that, again, you need next to nothing to start this. You've got very little sophisticated competition, and you can scale this to be a big, big business. An example of a big business in the space is Dryer Vent Wizard. Now, they're a franchise owned by a company called Neighborly. They do tens of millions of dollars a year, maybe even hundreds, off of just cleaning dryer vents. And all you need to clean the dryer vents is a screwdriver so you can disconnect the dryer vent from the wall, a brush to stick it in there and brush it out, and a vacuum to vacuum up all the lint so it's all nice and clear. You can charge anywhere from $80 to $350. When something's clogged, let's say, that increases the cost, but normal cleaning start $80 to $100, sometimes up to $200. Again, I really like this business because I don't see enough people talk about it. It's very niche, but it's also very needed because every apartment, every house, every building has dryers. So the demand for customers will always be there as long as you can just figure out the staffing component as you grow and as you scale this company. You'll be golden and you'll crush it and you'll build a very big business. It's not the most sexy business. It's actually very boring, probably the most boring one on this list, but I'm a big fan of it and I don't see enough people starting these companies. The pros to this, again, similar to the ones I've already talked about, very little startup cost. But again, there's kind of a give and take with that. Because there's low startup cost, that means there's not a lot of barrier to entry, meaning you can create a lot of competition that way. But as long as you do the good fundamentals of following up with your customers, having a nice website where you can book online, and you're getting reviews in your local area, you'll crush pretty much anyone that ever tries to come into this business. Number 4 is house cleaning. This is my favorite business on the list. Why? Because I've done it time and time again and I know it works, right? There's buildings everywhere, they get dirty over and over again, they need to be cleaned all the time. You don't actually have to do the cleaning yourself because you can hire contractors instead of employees who already have the training, already have the equipment, already have the vehicles, who pay for their own gas to go out and do the work, and all you have to do is the sales and the marketing. We talk about it a ton on this channel. You need about $300 to start between your booking software, your phone software, and your insurance, and that's about it. I've seen these businesses sell for as much as over $50 million, so low cost to start, very, very high ceiling of how big you can take it, but just know when you get to that scale, you're gonna have to be very good at ops and very good at recruiting and managing talent, specifically house cleaners, which is very difficult at scale. Not really hard to do at the beginning when you have 3 to 5 cleaners on your team generating $20,000, $30,000 a month. I particularly love this business because of the recurring component. If you do a good job and you hire good cleaners and you do a good job with your marketing, well then you'll walk into the next month with more revenue as long as you do a good job, because guess what? Those houses get dirty over and over. And so people like to book for weekly, bi-weekly, monthly cleans. And you can differentiate yourself very easily too, because there's lots of different customers you can go after. You have your normal residential customers, you've got your commercial customers, your schools, and your facilities that need commercial cleans. And then you've got Airbnbs and short-term rentals, which are turning over all the time and switching hands a lot. So every time that happens, a cleaner needs to come in because the property owner isn't doing that. They're hiring cleaning companies to do that. So you can get short-term rental customers and you can have turnovers all the time that feeds you tons and tons of revenue. You've also got construction cleanups. Whenever there's new buildings being built, they need to be cleaned after because of all the construction debris and all those different contractors that are working on a job. So you can charge $2,000, $3,000, sometimes up to $4,000 or $5,000 for these big construction cleanup jobs. A good example of a big business doing this is a company called King of Maids out of Chicago. They do $2.1 million of revenue per year on the remote cleaning model using contractors instead of employees. Number 5, which also could be an add-on to number 4, is home organization. I've seen people do this business as a standalone. I've seen them do it as an add-on. It can work as both, and similar to all the other ones, you need nothing to start. Literally nothing, you just need your hands and yourself. You need to be able to show up and have a sense of good organizational skills. Right? It's something I would pay for because I'm not the most organized person in the world. And this is different from cleaning because lots of times when somebody comes in for house cleaning, they're not gonna sit there and organize your stuff. They're gonna clean the stuff and move things around if things need to be moved around, but they're not gonna sit there and organize everything. And you can hire someone who's a professional organizer to come in and get your house organized. And then as you start to grow and as you start to scale, you can start to learn how to build or sell different products or build the actual products that organize the stuff, whether it be shelves, cabinets, closets, all different types of things like that. A big company that does this is called Shelf Genie, and they're a huge home organization business where they'll actually go in and on top of organizing your home, they'll actually build you out custom cabinets and stuff if you want that as well. They've got a ton of locations across the United States. Startup costs for this business are gonna be next to zero because again, you just need to be able to show up and pitch yourself and your services on your ability to organize a home. And once you get one client, it's really easy to start getting referrals to others. Number 6, this one's super new, super trendy right now. So if you're watching this, it could be a good one to get in on. It's home office setups. I know people charging up to $5,000 and above just to come in and set up a home office. With the rising trend of remote work and more and more people continuing to transition to remote and working from home since COVID, more and more people want these nice setups because they're getting on meetings all day, they're leading meetings out, and they want to look good on their cameras. And lots of people don't know the technology or what lighting fits best in their home, let alone the time it takes to actually go out and buy all the products, set it all up, make sure the wiring's all organized. There's actually a lot that goes into it. It's actually a service I was looking for a couple of years ago, which I couldn't find a lot of people in my local area doing, so I had to call a friend who's really good at this stuff to do it for me, and that's how I have the setup I do, because I paid my friend to set it up for me. Now these companies are starting to pop up more and more, and I expect them to continue to boom because, again, more and more people are transitioning to remote work and are gonna need good quality office setups with good lighting, good cameras, and good technology so they can look good on camera. On top of that, more and more people are launching podcasts, more and more people are starting to create content, and they wanna have a good setup where they can sit there and record content so they can post consistently. Startup costs for this are gonna be next to nothing. You could even go as far as getting affiliate commissions on any products you buy or sell to them, or have them buy, because you're gonna factor that into the budget on top of your service fee. So your startup cost is essentially just your labor and your ability to set up home offices and technology and lighting and cameras. So if you're good at that stuff, it could be a really, really good business for you to start and eventually even franchise out, because I don't see any franchises doing this. And I've seen franchises in a lot of weird stuff. It wouldn't be surprising to me if someone comes out with the next big home office setup franchise. Number 7, last but not least, this one's kind of cool and you've definitely never heard of it. It's a mobile dog gym. And so what's a mobile dog gym? It's literally what it sounds like. It's a big van that's built out with a couple treadmills in the back where people will take their dogs and allow them to run for 30 minutes to an hour. Now you might be wondering, why the hell would I do that if I could just walk my dog? Well, this business is gonna work really well in hotter climates. Think Nevada, Arizona, Florida, where it gets really hot in the summer. As an example, I live in Las Vegas, so I've experienced this. It was 120 degrees every single day last week, and this business was probably booming here. There's one here in Vegas called Run Dog, and they charge $75 for every 30 minutes that your dog runs. This allows your dog to run and exercise and get their walks in a climate cooled environment, as opposed to them having to get their paws really hot and maybe pass out from heat exhaustion or have problems overall from just the crazy heat and not having to put your dog in that crazy heat and walk them in that crazy heat. And so that's the problem it solves, is it allows your dog to run and exercise without having to worry about all the problems that are gonna come from this crazy heat during the summer. This business I think is really cool because it's new and there's not a lot of people doing it. And it could be a blue ocean market where you come in and you just get a ton of customers because maybe there's not one in your city or there's only one in your city. But it does require a bunch of startup costs because you are gonna have to buy some type of van. You are gonna have to build that out with some treadmills in the back. But as long as you could do that, I do think it's a great market for you to come in here and take advantage of because there's not a ton of people doing it. I'd imagine too with this business, there's gonna be a lot of recurring revenue too because dogs need to be walked every day. So you could probably set it up on a bi-daily basis, a weekly basis for them to come in and actually run their dog and kind of also pass off the responsibility of having to go and walk their dog because they hand the dog over to either you or some type of a person that provides the service in the truck, and then their dog's getting exercise for 30 minutes to an hour. You could also partner up with local vets and pet groomers to be able to refer you customers as well, so that's another great option. If you're on the fence about starting a business or you're kind of wondering where to start one of these businesses. You can start it for low and you can build these businesses to be really, really big. I did it with a window cleaning business, so you can do it with any of these 7. And if you do want a little more hand-holding, a little bit more of a business-in-the-box feel where you're getting coached through the whole thing, you can check out Home Service Academy with the link down below in the description. You can book a call. It's completely free with our consulting team, and they'll walk you through what it's like to actually work with us to build a remote cleaning business. And at the very least, if you don't want to do it, we'll send you some more free resources so you can get started on your own. If you haven't, hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.